everybody. Welcome to the Nevermind Podcast, episode 5, In Outer Space. It's a last-minute decision on the title, like all our titles.
By last minute decision on the title, you mean you forgot to put a title
That's right.
before you started the stream, so it said going live with Detroit?
That's right. I'm still learning how to do this stuff.
It's a long process.
I did the spontaneous stream of Detroit. When was that? Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday, I think. Maybe Wednesday? I can't remember.
It was Wednesday or Thursday, but because we needed extra days and an extra hour for affiliation, and we got one more, so it's probably going to happen probably Monday, probably tomorrow. So yeah, but today is an episode of the podcast.
I was born.
We're going to be talking about outer space. Why are we talking about
Tyson.
Why are we talking about outer space? Because I asked Nick one day on the stream, what do you want to talk about? And he was like, let's talk about space. And I was like, okay.
I'm really fascinated with space. I'm a little mad at myself that I didn't say call me Nick deGrasse Tyson, like right a minute ago. You're like, you missed an opportunity for a funny joke, and you're like, God damn it, now I can't
I hate when that happens.
I hate that. But I love space. I am so enthralled with the idea of space.
Yeah.
And the concept of never knowing. I think we even talked about that on one of the other podcasts for a different reason. But I love anything that I can't know everything about, and I love space for that reason. So
yeah. So you just like space because you don't know it completely.
Yeah. Also, I can't read chat very good.
Oh shit! I can read chat for you. If you
yeah,
want
you're
me
gonna
to.
have to be in charge of
Otherwise
stopping me.
Otherwise, you can pull it up on your phone too, right?
Well, you guys don't like when I drink. Oh, now we're getting sued. Wow, that is a crystal clear image.
They should really change their cans to that.
Look at that dude, I would drink out of this.
Yeah, I would save that and just keep refilling it. I would cut the top off and then use it as a cup. So, okay, right now what's going on in the chat? Telma says, the pink guy waving his hands, who does he represent?
Knuckles?
Musty says Knuckles. Laura Lynn says, welcome, Telma and Musty Bruce. Cal Hyatt says, oh shit, Telma is here. Fluffy says, MHM. Telma says, hey all. Laura
okay, I feel like you could probably just read the highlights.
Yeah, okay, let's go through the highlights here real quick. Everyone says hi to each other.
Okay.
Drinking green drink gains.
Yep. Already covered that.
Super pissed off.
Come on, King Cord.
Blah blah blah. Okay, let's get into let's get into the episode here.
I am super excited about Space Day. I've got so much about space that I love and that I'm excited for.
What is your top thing that you are excited for?
To talk about?
No, like just space. What's your top thing that you're excited about in space?
Top thing, like, as far as like if we have space travel or
anything about space travel, space stations, asteroid belts.
This is going to sound kind of stupid because I'm sure there's cooler things about it, but I am so interested in life in space, and I'm not talking like intelligent alien life, like
sort of life, humanity in space.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried. I'm legit a little worried that, like, based on life on Earth, I'm hoping Earth is just a sample size.
Yeah.
And that it doesn't work this way on the universe. But I'm worried that our universe is going to be as boring as No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
like
you think our planet was the only one that had
not
intelligent
quite that.
life?
There's life on planets. So what I'm curious of is if we end up in another solar system at some point and we see an animal that lives there. Is that motherfucker just gonna look like a horse? Like, is it just gonna be like a regular? Like, is there only one diagram?
Are they all gonna look like recycled parts?
Yes. Like, is this, if we run into an animal, is it just gonna be the head of a horse with the body of a dog and the tail of a cat? Like, is that all that we get?
Yeah.
Or is it gonna be a unique new animal?
I think we'll find some unique ones. Although I do think
how unique? Because we have some weird shit here.
I believe we'll find like super unique, like things we probably haven't seen before. But I also think we're gonna see a lot of similarities in some too.
Right.
So, like, I think we'll find some animals out in space that are similar to the animals that we see here. You know,
2 thumbs up for the internet connection. I can only read the first 2 lines of chat.
Thank you, Musty. we figured out the Ethernet is
Put
the
your
way
head
to
on the
go.
left side.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, just drag us a little over to the right,
Wah.
and then just put that over the top of the bottom. There we go. Now we good.
There we go. I don't
Now
need to
we're
see my
good.
face. There we go. Okay,
Excellent.
perfect. And by the way, Musty, we still haven't got your package, but we can't wait till it gets here.
If his package gets here before like Tuesday, I'll like if you're
So
not
if it comes
busy,
tomorrow,
yeah, like if it comes like Monday,
yeah,
I will do an unboxing from my place.
and I can Skype in.
Yeah, you can Skype in, and we'll use that for our extra unique day we
Yeah,
need.
we can
Otherwise,
do
we'll just figure something out. Tomorrow.
Otherwise I'll just stream Detroit again.
Yeah, so either way, we'll figure out the extra day we need to stream. But if your box comes tomorrow, we'll be doing a random unboxing in the middle of the day or something.
Yes.
But what are you most excited for space? Like if we're just starting with like peak excitement.
Mine's
Because
actually.
I know you signed up for the Space Force. So.
Yes, I did. I think mine's going to sound even more boring than yours. Because I'm excited.
I almost spit took.
I'm excited for the establishment of an ecosystem and a economic system and society itself, and just like the way, like, you know, how we can, like, the development of traveling from planet to planet or station to station or whatever, like, you know, like developing space gas stations, and developing space banks and grocery stores, and
like a Futurama-esque world where it's just everyone treats it like it's no big deal
Yeah.
anymore, and
yeah, like there's just like, you know, like it's like
just stop and fill up
traveling on the
dark
highway
matter.
here on Earth. I'm excited for traveling. It sounds stupid.
Yeah,
I'm excited for traveling in space and having like a gas station, pit stops, and shit like that.
right.
Or like the fancy ass like satellite space station restaurant that like
Did you ever-
slowly turns.
Did you ever play Elite Dangerous?
I did not.
Really?
No.
That one's it's a full space simulator, boring as shit, but you'd be super into it. It sounds like
Oh yeah.
the entire game is like designed around an open universe where you it's based off reality, and so it's enormous. You'll never see another player basically,
Yeah.
but to help, the game fills it with players and PvE content and stuff, and you get to pick what you want to do. As far as like you can be a trader. Like your whole job can be looking through lists of economic points throughout the universe, being like, oh, I can buy bronze here and transfer it over to here. Or I can.
Yeah.
I was a slave trader. I'm not happy about that. I at first I started trading bronze and like some of the just items, and then one guy was like, hey, why don't you come over here? I was like, what's up? And he's like, you move these slaves, I'll pay you 10 times what you get paying that stuff. And I was like, oh shit, well, I'm a slave trader.
I was like, I can't pass up that deal.
I feel guilty about it. Guilty as shit. But I got so much money.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the kind of thing.
But bounty
obviously,
hunters would go
I'm
after
not
me.
gonna be into like slave trading, but you know, like,
Right.
like, you know, like bronze and gold and fuel and
Yes,
space parts
exactly. And Telma is right though. What about solar sails? Like, the solar
Yeah.
sails that like pull in.
The-
You might not
those
even
are
need a
great,
gas
too.
station. You might do. I mean,
Those could be
unless
great,
you're
too.
in an area of space with no sunlight, which can happen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you gotta have multiple
You'd have-
choices
you'd
of
have to-
fuel.
You'd have to be in a solar system.
Yeah, you'd have to be near a
There's
star.
parts of space that are not solar systems, right?
Yeah, there's
like,
empty. There's empty spots.
Yeah, there's empty space, like
Mhm.
deep space between solar systems.
And then there's also there's also the way, and I think No Man's Sky I think they did it, where you could just like on the go mine floating fucking asteroids and pull the
right,
materials and fuel out of that,
right. It makes sense.
But what if you're in a spot?
Some asshole that drives diesel, Mountain Dew and space cans. Yeah, dude, Mountain Dew in space. This should be their official logo.
Diesel spaceships. Yeah.
So some asshole pulls up and it's just like shooting smog into space. He's
Yeah.
just like, "What up, partner?
Need a smoke?
This is the 1960 Jetter." The fuck, dude? Go get a new spaceship.
1960 Cheddar.
I don't fucking know.
He turned his pickup from Earth into a spaceship.
Yeah, it's just like, and you know it's painted like the Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh yeah, it's like
It's
that.
got a Confederate
Is
flag
that
on the
orange
back.
with a Confederate flag on the roof of it? It's got, what number was it? Like 8 or something? on
Yeah,
the
and that,
door?
that motherfucker's pulling up next to like Telma being like, well, you got yourself one of them electric spaceships,
You got one
huh?
of them sailing ships, huh? Check this
Oh,
out.
God.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. my other spaceship is a Ford, Musty says. Yeah.
Oh, God.
So that's kind of what I mean, I'm also excited about discovering other life and discovering other planets and shit like that. But
Yeah, I'm super, dude, but I'm kind of scared, right? Because we have some scary fucking things. Like if we have things here like the gargantua bird-eating spiders and
yeah,
fucking little box jellyfish that's like that big that fucking like stings you once and you're dead.
yeah.
Like I ain't trying to fuck with life on other planets too much,
Yeah.
but I'd like to
Well,
see it.
what if we discover that life outside of ours is actually not as bad as ours? Like ours is the
Like
worst.
we're the fucking weird planet full
Yeah.
of like alien life.
Yeah.
Everyone else is just normal.
Maybe that's why we haven't. Maybe that's why we haven't got too many aliens visiting us. 'Cause
Yeah, they're like,
well,
fuck that planet.
Did you hear what they have? They have those little tiny like ants that like sting you and they fucking die.
Bullet ants. They've got bullet ants there, motherfucker.
Yeah. They got them ants with them fucking stingers on their face and they just
Space ISIS hunter sticker in the window.
They got like
He's got like a piss on the Galactic Empire.
pissing. That'd be hilarious.
Oh shit, we should make that a video short.
There's like a trail of like crushed like beer cans like following it wherever it goes.
Some cigarette butts and beer cans just floating behind his thing. Oh shit, dude.
Space rednecks. Can't wait for space rednecks. But yeah. So, but I think the thing that terrifies me the most is that it's not that we're gonna find like dangerous, scary aliens. It's that I feel like we in the beginning stages, since especially when we're sending like generations, like 4 more generations of humans
Right.
to go discover something. I feel like the movie Pandora or Pandorum,
Pandora, yeah.
where we'll all just go fucking crazy.
Right.
And
That was a
then
good
like
movie.
when we're crazy, then the like fucking aliens will like take over or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think we would go crazy assuming that things worked right. It's kind of a scary risk assessment. It seems like a la Passengers or like it seems like it'd be really hard to find a crew and build a ship that could just fly somewhere for like 200 years. Like
Yeah.
that seems improbable with our current or even future technology.
I mean, even if we had like a military like system or whatever where like there's like certain people we have to follow and have to
Yeah.
listen to or whatever, I feel like eventually it'll just deteriorate and there's just like a free for all or whatever. Or
I think it's fine as long as things are good. Humans are very predictable.
Yeah.
As long as they're getting fed, they're having a good time, they're enjoying their cruise ship.
But I
they're
feel
gonna
like
be
humans
okay.
are also known for like hating authority, like especially after a certain period of time.
Yeah, except for I think that's mostly just you and me. I don't think everyone hates authority.
Yeah, but do you really think like if we put 4 generations worth of people onto one ship that's probably the size of like fucking New Zealand or whatever, like none of them would like all of them would love authority and they're like, "Oh, thanks captain for
Probably not.
providing
But,
us the food that was already put on the ship before we left Earth."
I mean, it's not like we do much about it. Like you and me are like, yeah, fuck the system. And I guess I better go
yeah.
to work and get my paycheck and pay my rent.
Still gotta get paid though.
Like, yeah, like
yeah.
it's you need a true anarchist to want to like sabotage like some living, surviving. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know about colonization is an interesting concept. Wouldn't it just suck to be the middle generation? Like, I feel like you're cool if you're the first generation. Like you move to space, or the final generation. You get to land on a new planet and colonize. But if you're like just in the middle and you're just like born on a ship, live on a ship, die on a ship. And I
Yeah.
guess if the ship has everything, shit, if there's a McDonald's in the ship, a computer, and internet, if they find a way to do some internet, then I'm good, man.
Yeah.
If I can get a McDouble, sit down in front of my computer and play some like World of Warcraft, shit, man.
But I feel
I'll
like
take that
I feel like
middle.
they wouldn't have a fast food restaurant because like you literally have a set amount. There's like no pit stops or anything. So I think everyone would have to be on rations. Everyone
Right.
would have to be like on a set amount of food at a
Unless
certain time.
unless the technology was big enough and we were there that we grew in space.
Or
Like
3D printed
3D
food
printing's
in
getting there.
space.
But like Japanese style, the Japanese layered gardening. You could fit a lot of gardening in.
I mean, that's true. We still haven't talked about how big our ship is. We could
Well, you called it the
account
size
for
of
like
New Zealand. It's not like New Zealand doesn't have cows. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, we might need bigger. What if we could grow cows on a ship? I guess.
yeah, I mean, you could grow anything. You could grow humans and just keep.
You think we would
eating
do
'em.
like the Noah's Ark thing and just have like one female, one male?
No, fuck that. That's not Noah's Ark. That's not even Noah's Ark is where he takes all the animals.
Yeah, but he takes
Oh,
only
like one male, one female
one
of each animal.
of each animal.
Nah, they inbreed and they die. That's dumb. The Bible's retarded. Ooh, shit! I went there. I'm kidding.
So what? How long does I guess I'd have to find out how long a cow typically lives. Because I
You
mean,
gotta
like,
do cow
what if,
math. We're talking about space.
what
You're
if we got like 8
the
cows?
math on a cow's lifespan.
What if we got like 8 cows, 4 female, 4 male? Would that last long enough for them to like
playing WoW
procreate?
with some guys in Nebraska with a ping of 200 million? Multiplayer would be the worst. Imagine the ping by the time you get the relay back, everyone's dead.
Hey, you could win a lot of matches that way.
That's exactly right. You're just standing in the back of your spawn in Call of Duty.
Musty says 18 to 22 years. Is that typically
For a
a
cow.
cow's life? Yeah.
Cow's lifespan.
Okay, so we know a cow's lifespan.
Except for you're
Now
not
we
going to
need
let
to
them
know-
get that old. You're going to eat them at like you're going to.
When they get to that
I don't know when you eat a cow, actually. I guess
Yeah.
probably at like.
Do they have to get to a certain age, or
I'm sure. Well, I mean, unless you want veal, which is deliciously
know.
evil.
Yeah, that is deliciously evil.
God, I love veal,
know
and
if
I feel so.
I
Like,
think if we got enough cows, though, like we bring on a set amount of cows, but they procreate, right? And after like a
cow's lifespan. Cow. A
Cow.
cow's.
a cow, not a cow.
A cow.
So you're saying cow? No, cow. Sorry, cow.
Sorry about it.
Cow. Yeah, it sounds pretty.
Cow.
Wow.
Cowabunga.
Cowabunga.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to space, if we have 3 to 5 years when you butcher a cow, so there you go. I'm just saying, if we have the technology, some things are a given. If you can fly, if you have the technology to colonize another planet, I don't think our holdback is going to be making food.
I think we need to figure out. And this is probably the wrong time to figure this stuff out on the podcast, but we need to figure out how many people can a farm, like a cattle farm, can feed.
Oh, I get you. Well, it depends how much meat you eat. Like, again, it depends on.
But I mean, like, we'll dial it back. We'll keep everyone at a certain amount, but
You probably wouldn't go with cows. I mean, realistically, if you're going, you'd probably go with something like chickens. You can fit a
Yeah.
lot more chickens.
yeah, I mean, we like stuff those things in like fucking hangers. And
Yeah,
treat 'em
like-
like shit. So why not?
And,
have
and they
space?
also make eggs, although cows make milk,
Yeah, and leather.
and cheese. Yeah, so you probably get
And
a
there's
little
a
bit
lo-
of
and there's a lot of the cow that we use too. Like
right.
I mean, we use the whole chicken too, but I'm saying like like it's not just like hamburger and steaks.
Right,
there's, like,
right.
There's other cuts and there's like the face meat and the tongue meat.
The
and-
face meat.
I don't know the correct
I would
deli
eat
terms,
any part.
but,
I'm not picky. I'll eat fucking anything.
yeah.
I don't think food would be the problem. A renewable food. I think if we're in space, renewable food is the least of our problem.
Leslie says you were forgetting that we can also make meat in a lab. That's true.
Yes,
we can.
we're working on it. It's not quite there, but it is like they've done it. I don't know if they've really successfully like mass produced it yet, but they have made meat in a lab, and one day they'll get that there.
Yeah.
And I'll eat the shit out of it. Irradiated fake meat, done. Give it to me.
Well, I mean, like if we're talking about like them making meat in a lab,
Yeah,
then-
Screech is right. You can clone cows. Cloning, exactly.
Yeah, that's true. Like we'd be there at cloning, and we're already at like 3D printing ears on rats, so why not like grow meat on other baby rats? I don't know if anyone would eat meat off of a rat, but
Yeah. But yeah, I would eat. anything. Like I don't think. Yeah. So part of when you're talking about space exploration, space life, we're not there yet. So you have to assume that if you have the technology to get to space in a realistic format, you've probably made some other advancements alongside that.
Right. Right.
Uh,
Maybe we made like maybe they won't go with like maybe having farms. Maybe they'll have something else like everyone comes in and gets like an IV full of nutrients and shit, or
it could be.
you know.
Or more, it could go the opposite way. We're assuming on a colony vessel, it could also go the passengers route, and we figured out stasis, and you go into stasis for 200 years and are fed by IVs, or not fed
Yeah.
at all if you're in true stasis.
That's true.
You could go into full stasis hibernation and just wake up 200 years later,
Yeah, like you're still like 25 years old, but like 200 years later.
but everybody else is dead.
Yeah.
That's a weird concept.
Well, I mean, you're already going to a planet which you're assuming doesn't have any life, so.
Right, no, it's not a big deal, but I just mean, like, it'd be weird if you were like, you landed there and you called back to Earth and you were like, oh,
With
is,
your 2 million ping.
yeah, and then, like, you call in and the guy's like, oh, yeah, my great-great-great-grandfather launched that ship.
Yeah, we gave up on you guys a long time ago. Or
Like-
what if you called and they're like, what? They launched some like ship full of people? Like they just completely forgot about it.
That wouldn't surprise me. Like, I feel like we forget about a lot of shit that we do.
Yeah. Like just like society on Earth as a whole just went to shit.
Burgers, turn waste back into tasty food. Nom nom nom.
Mm,
So many good ideas.
so many good ideas.
But like, once you get past that, just think of the possibilities. Like I'm not like Mars is gonna be fun. Like that'll be great. But when you really get to
Yeah.
points where you can cross solar systems and galaxies,
Yeah, like when we ventured outside of our star system, our
Yeah.
Milky Way, that's when it's gonna
it's
get
gonna be
fun.
exciting.
I mean,
And,
don't get me wrong, exploring the Milky Way will be fun,
Yeah, for sure.
and it has been fun as much as we've done. But we want to know outside. Sorry, I burped while I was talking. We want to know outside of our Milky Way. So
You know, do you ever watch Neil deGrasse Tyson stuff?
yeah, I do.
I love the man.
I love it.
I've been obsessed with the idea. Something like really fucked with me. Ever since I watched the original Men in Black and those fucking aliens were playing with us like marbles, you know,
Yeah.
that really fucked with me when I was a kid. Gave me an existential life crisis. I'm like, oh my god, am I just a fucking marble? Okay, but hear me
I
out.
think everyone went through that.
So Neil deGrasse Tyson, I'm just watching him, just trying to have a good day at home, just
Yeah.
watching a little space show.
Yeah.
And Neil deGrasse Tyson, Lord of giving me existential life crisis, pops out this little fucking nugget, being like, so the only thing we've found with like the ability to have the power of a big bang is basically when a solar system explodes, like when a sun explodes,
Yeah.
which is what forms black holes. So his theory was that our Big Bang was some sun exploding, and then when the black hole forms, it's a new universe. That's like the multiverse design.
Yeah.
So every time a sun explodes, boom, new universe. That's their Big Bang, and it implodes within itself to a new universe.
So like a new life starts every time.
Yeah, in theory, every black hole that you would go through, assuming you could, which you can't,
yeah.
you would enter a new universe.
So it's just
full
an
of,
entrance to a new universe. Like you can just like pop through the front door and now you're in a different.
and all the matter that is generated is what's sucked through the black hole, essentially. So you're in a never-ending but
that's
I was
kinda
just
hard to
like,
handle.
I'm just sitting at home eating chips, like,
What?
the fuck, Neil? Oh my god, like, am I just a black hole? Do we just live in a black
Are
hole?
we just a byproduct
Like, our
of an
whole
explosion?
entire universe is just like compressed into one tiny singularity in a black hole?
Wow, that's crazy. How do you feel about the theory, which is I think also kind of a conspiracy, which is perfect for this podcast, about two? I don't know exactly how it goes, but it's like two universes like somehow like collided with each other, and like with our existence and some other like kind of like overlapped in like the wavelength or whatever,
Yeah.
overlapped, and then like shit that people remember didn't actually happen, and like other things changed too. Like there's like some YouTube video where this kid like theorized it.
Some kid.
And yeah, it's some kid. He actually had a TED talk too, where he's like, I remember when we used to have these toys, but now all of a sudden they don't exist. And then his dad chimes in too. He's like, yeah, I remember when there was like this TV show, but now it's called something different. And like there used to be like this song, and I can't find it anymore. And I think it's because our universes collided or whatever. And
That guy sounds like an idiot.
they both sound like idiots, but
Yeah,
somehow the actual like people at TED Talk and like other like scientists,
They helped him make it sound more viable by
Yeah.
like the dumb people talk to smart people and the smart people made it sound more viable sort of
Yeah.
ish, like deal.
like, hey, you sound slightly crazy, but you also sound intelligent. Let's give you
The
a TED
Mandela
Talk.
effect. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Brian Cox I've heard of. I haven't seen any of his work. I'll check him out today. I'll go watch some of his stuff. I've heard of Brian Cox. I haven't seen any of his like speeches.
There's like one where it's just the kid sitting in the kitchen, and he's just drawing a circle or something, and his dad's filming him, and his dad thinks it's like a remarkable like event or whatever, like a moment in time where like it's
Right.
almost like watching your kid play baseball for the first time. It's like gotta whip out the camcorder, but instead it's this kid just drawing a circle on a page while he's explaining his theory, and it's so crazy when you listen to it.
That is really crazy. Although, to be honest, I guess what really messes with me is the reality. Like they've almost, I don't want to say proven, because I don't know that you could ever prove anything, but it's a really strong working theory that that we have like memories and design like ingrained in us from like genes. And I think that's so sci-fi, and like that just blows my mind. The
Yeah,
idea that you could have some, even if it's not true memory, but like
memory of like a past life, or just like already like
yeah, like
knowledge that's already been in there, and then you lose it when you
well,
grow
it's
up.
kind of like the same way that the way the genes work. It's kind of like how we all kind of end up just like the same as our parents in a way. It's not like
Yeah.
you have to be, but like you have a lot in common with your parents because of the way the genes work, and vice versa. You tend to carry these things like with you through like evolution of your like genes, and they basically think that that memories are locked in there. I guess kind of like in Assassin's Creed, like he doesn't remember.
Right, but like his like ancestors knew where the treasure was, and so they like went in and tried to.
Right, so like
it.
he doesn't know it. It's not like he has memories of his past life, but there are things that can tap into them, or that they
Yeah.
are in there somewhere. As that shit is really interesting to me. It's not space related, but it's sci-fi.
Yeah, it's
But what an
I've also
interesting idea.
heard things like babies like babies are really smart. Like they already have like a telepathic connection with other babies or whatever. Like they know what they're talking. Like it's almost like they have their own language.
It's pretty
Yeah.
weird when you see it. Like it might not be language, but they have something.
Right. It's and I can kind of see it, but I'm also kind of like no.
Yeah.
I don't think they have like an actual like language.
Dude, I don't know. I feel like if anybody's ever seen a baby, I don't think you'd think they were that smart.
No. Like if you're that smart, get your own freaking bottle.
Yeah, right.
Change your own diaper.
Like if I mean like yeah, like I don't think they're probably not that smart, but certainly everything can develop language.
Yeah.
Every living organism has some way of communication.
I think babies just they know how to read body language
yeah,
a
like,
lot.
Like yeah, that's absolutely
I mean, it's
true.
just kind of like your first like thing to know.
And humans are good at reading emotions. Like when
Yeah.
you walk into a room and everyone's mad, and you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna back out of
And
here. Like
Sometimes you don't even need to see the people who are mad. You can
yeah,
just feel
you
the,
can feel
the
like
tensity in the room.
and you're like, nope, 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 nope,
Yeah,
nope.
don't want to be here. That's a lot. Like that's how a lot of like paranormal people
Right,
like
right.
they feel the room whenever there's a ghost.
Oh, what a surprise! King Cord found a way to bring ghosts into it.
We should have like a little.
He's like,
button.
now he brings out like the goggles that can see ethereal spirits. He's like, let's do this.
I bring out like an EMF detector. And like, all right, we're doing it now. We should have like a little button that goes like ghost hunting time. or
Ghost
something.
hunting time.
Yeah.
They make a thing for it, but I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
There's like you can buy like things that interface with it that
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. Are they just called soundboards, or are they like those beat pads that you can just assign?
Well, you can do that. The one I was looking at, I'll show it to you later. It is like you can assign it and it's digital, so each key can have a little picture you assign so you know what they do.
Oh, that'd be
It's pretty
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
And they can trigger things in OBS. Human trait. Babies have zero filter and also have neurons connected over the brain. Disconnects the ones that aren't related. Yeah, super great. Newborn babies can't see. So they that far to read body language. Yeah, they can't read body language yet. I think they tend to read, like you said, like emotional triggering.
Well, plus like when I'm saying like they talk to each other,
Right.
I'm not saying like they're across
That's
the
up.
room or anything. They're probably like in the same playpen or whatever, like in the,
Mhm.
you know, close to each other. But to bring it back to space talk.
Back to space, motherfucker.
Space talk.
I've been playing a lot of Empyrean this week, so yeah, I'm ready.
So there's a theory that Mars, or maybe it's not a theory, it's actually a fact. I don't know.
Mhm.
But that Mars used to be Earth-like.
Yeah, it would
a
make
long
sense.
time ago. Like they said that they found like some ice on there or whatever, and they theorized that it actually used to be more water than
They
land.
have a huge thing that they know was once a large like lake. I don't think it was an ocean, but like
Yeah.
they have.
Which I think it has
place.
ice caps, doesn't it? Like they're very small, but
Yeah, there's
or at
some
least
ice,
one ice
and
cap.
they have a dried up lake, and they obviously can't like drill yet because we don't have a way to get on there. But
Yeah.
there's a good chance. I mean, if you really think about it, it's not all that surprising with what we know about Earth via sediment layering. We know for a fact that Earth used to have nothing on it. It was just a rock, just like anything. So planets go through phases.
Yeah.
And there's a very good chance that Mars had plenty of life on it, and then they all died out. They're just in their dry dust ball phase.
Well, one of the theories, one of the conspiracies.
Oh my god!
is that humans actually came from Mars, and we forgot about it. That we actually was on Mars, and we recognized that Mars was dying. It was a dying planet, and so we all basically colonized into a ship and flew to Earth, and then we took over Earth, and or whatever.
That is poetically beautiful. I mean, I'm just saying, theoretically, if we have to flee Earth now as a dying planet back to our already dead planet, I don't believe that, but that would be some poetic shit right there.
Some of the scientists were talking about rejuvenating or Mars.
Yeah, terraforming.
And one of the ideas is that we should just drop simultaneously nuclear warheads on both poles of Mars, and that should like jumpstart its like
space
system, basically.
Yeah.
Isn't that like that's freaking crazy to me?
I don't know how they could do it. Like, I don't understand it. That's over my pay grade.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just really mad that Musty's making fun of my non-boxy Empyrean ship. It's not a box. If anything, it's a pancake.
Pancake.
Yeah, I love that. It's space Minecraft.
Yeah.
And you build ships out of boxes, so they tend to be on the boxier side.
On the boxier.
If you're not a talented builder, which I'm not an engineer.
Yeah. And it's just like as long as it works.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly. It doesn't have to look pretty as long as it works.
Well, I try to make him look pretty. That's my problem. I try to make him look good, then I'm like, this looks ugly.
Yeah.
Ugly duckling ship.
Yeah. So do you think that that's what they're going to end up doing? Like just dropping nukes on the poles? Or do you think they're... Because I feel like even if we did that, it's still not going to be quick enough for us to like... I feel like we'd still like die out before Mars would get back to Earth. Like,
my guess is that again, it gets really confusing. So the real question is, if we honestly had the ability to go to Mars, land there, terraform it, and live there, if we have all that technology readily available, could we just stop global warming realistically on Earth?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. That. That's not an answer I have.
Honestly, I feel like it would be a better way to spend our money and our time is just to fix the planet we're on now.
Right. And a lot of people feel that way, obviously. Yeah. That's why.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to get out to space. I want to find other shit. But I feel like
but I want to go to
restarting Mars is just a stupid idea.
I want to go to space because we want to go to space. I don't want to go to space because we were chased out by our dead planet.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a cool reason.
Yeah.
That's like a depressing backstory you hear in a movie, not like a adventurous thing.
Isn't that what Pandorum was?
Yeah, probably.
Earth was dying, and like everyone had to wear like face masks and stuff, and they're like, "Please join the Space Force so we can find some other planet."
I
And,
think it pretty much was
Yeah.
that.
I think,
Pretty like a box.
yeah, I honestly feel like restarting Mars is just a worthless idea.
Yeah.
I feel like we should either fix the planet we're on now, or find a planet that is habitable. You know,
Whoops. Yes.
so
No, and there's a lot of habitable planets. The last time I counted, I'm not gonna look it up exactly, but I was just talking to Cal about it, and the last time I checked, there were some crazy amount, like hundreds of thousands of planets that we know exist because we have the Hubble land in what's called the Goldilocks zone, which kind of speaks for itself.
yeah.
But if you're not familiar with it, that's the area between a star and its planet that makes it temperature viable for
mild.
water.
The temperature is usually mild
Yes, mild enough that water can form. Because
and stay.
we know that if there's water, there's basically life. That's what
'Cause
makes
there's-
life.
Isn't it like the next planet next to us? There's water there, but it's constantly like boiling off.
Right. It depends on which way you look. Anywhere closer to the sun from us is like
Yeah.
on fire. Mars is barely habitable, and it's not
Yeah.
truly because the atmosphere. If we terraform Mars, it's habitable in theory. But the next most habitable planet to us is like some shit like 2,000, 3,000 years away or something.
So Musty says he would rather be a space tourist than seeing if shit would work on an unknown.
Yeah, an equation.
equation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Plus, he says he's not being funny, but as a race, we are dumb. How long will it take before some moron flick the wrong switch and kill everyone?
It's so true. I mean, we're kind of playing that game right now with Trump and fucking
Yeah.
North Korea, like with Kim Jong Un and Trump. I'm over here like, oh my god, one of these fucking idiots is gonna
Yeah.
press the fucking nuke button. Goodbye, Earth. GG. And if I die because Donald Trump, I ain't going out like that. That's
Yeah.
not that better not be how it turns out for me.
Isn't he back from talking to him?
Yeah, but I don't think
Like, I don't think they really got anything done. They just
Yeah,
shook
you're never
hands.
gonna get anything done. Like,
They're just like,
yeah.
hey, I shook this guy's hand.
yeah.
But yeah, so what about Pluto not being a planet anymore? How's that make
It's
you
an
feel?
exoplanet. It's a dwarf planet, a
Well,
dwarf ice giant.
That's what they came back because everyone bitched
Yeah.
about it. Because everyone's like, no. When I was growing up, it was a planet, and then they're like, no, it's not a planet. It's like, what I can't remember what they called it after the like. Was it just like a rock? Or
It's
like
it was an
asteroid?
ice giant or something
Ice
like
giant.
that. Like it's
And
just
then everyone
it's a ball of
complains.
ice.
Everyone complains, and they're like, okay, it's a dwarf planet now.
Yeah, and I mean it is like it's not truly a planet because of the rules of planets, but that's not really entirely fair because then a lot of things aren't. Like there's a lot of rules in space that are made up by space physicists.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm less interested in Pluto and more interested in things like Neptune or Saturn that have like 42 moons. Like what an interesting what
Really?
does that look like in the sky, do you think? I bet that's just cool as shit.
It's gotta be, well, I mean, like if you look at a picture of Earth now, it's just got a field of satellites. So I'm assuming it's probably gonna look similar to that.
Right, but I'm
I
talking
mean, not as
about
dense, but you know,
the moons would ideally be close enough and big enough that when you looked up in the sky, you would see all of them. Like,
yeah,
that would be a weird
That would be
concept
weird.
because I'm so used to seeing just the one moon.
just the one tiny one.
Yeah,
I'm
one
assuming there's
small
like
moon.
different sizes, so you probably
Yeah,
get like
I
a
th-
giant ass. Like,
Neptune has one really famous one. Is it Titan or is it? I can't remember. Python.
Isn't Titan like a different planet outside of our system?
Probably, but like I think Tyson who caused the declassification. There you go. I would actually laugh if it was the last thing said.
Yeah,
But yeah, like I like the whole Pluto thing. It doesn't really matter. Like I know that people care and
Yeah.
whatnot, but like who
but
really
it didn't like
cares?
it didn't ruin your day when that first happened. They're like,
No, I don't
Pluto's
give a
not a planet anymore.
I
Like,
don't
what?
care if Pluto's a planet or not.
So I feel like it would be even more entertaining and interesting, but better knowledge to know that like how many moons another planet has or whatever. Like I was never told that there was 42 moons on Neptune.
Yeah, let me check. I'll check right now while we're talking.
Because I mean that'd be cool. Like than just saying like Pluto's a tiny planet.
Right.
You know, and now it's an ice giant, and now everyone wanted to know it's a dwarf planet. Like I want to. It's more interesting to me to
Triton. Neptune's Triton is the main moon, not Titan. Let's see. We've got
Are the moons like our moons, or are they like
currently
habitable?
14 moons on Neptune. Maybe more. They're working on it.
So I thought
Saturn I thought had more.
Yeah.
Saturn has 62 moons.
Saturn, and they're outside of the belt.
I don't know if they're outside the belt.
Oh, okay. Maybe
Uranus has 27 moons.
Maybe they're inside the belt.
And that's partially why planets like that could never be livable. Because, I mean, think about, like, shit, dude, what would that do to your fucking water? Like, the tides. I mean, good God.
Yeah.
But Neptune's completely unlivable no matter what. Because, you know, they're outside, like, even if you terraform, Neptune is never going to be an option. Because neither Saturn, too hot. Like, it's gas. I think it's all gas. Neptune's the planet that has winds so fast that they're supersonic almost.
Isn't Neptune the one where, like, when you see it from outside, it's completely covered in like a gas cloud?
It's actually not. It's the one that's covered in like kind of like what looks like clouds a little bit. It's blue.
Yeah.
It's blue.
Yeah.
It's literally the entire surface is a mixture of water and ice, like slush, and it gets thrown around the planet at supersonic speeds because the wind's there. I don't know what the speed of sound is. Supersonic, I don't know off the top of my head, but
like
the
Mach
winds
3?
are like just under that, like thousands of mile-an-hour winds.
Oh shit.
I mean, if a human just stepped outside, you'd just be like ripped apart, like literally.
Yeah.
So that planet will never be habitable, obviously. But
Uranus is full of gas. Tee hee ha ha.
hey, I see it. I get it.
Nice joke.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Nibiru, the supposed 10th planet. That I heard about. I haven't done the research on it. There's always one. I can't even pronounce it. The first time I read it, I was trying to figure out how to say Nibiru.
Sounds like a Japanese car.
It does sound like that.
It sounds like you're taking Subaru and Nissan together.
If that's not racist, I agree. If it's racist, then shame on you.
I don't think it's racist.
But yeah, like I think that again, like
there's a planet that like constantly has a hurricane on it, and you can see it from space. Like,
that's Saturn.
Is that Saturn?
I think it's either Saturn or Uranus.
Like
I want to say
it's just a hurricane. Like I'm sure there's more than
big
one
storm. It's one big storm.
But it just like it doesn't
forever.
Yeah, it never dies. It just keeps going around the planet.
Yeah, I think that's actually Saturn that has it, but don't quote me on that because I can't guarantee it, and I don't ever like to say anything for sure if I'm wrong. Jupiter. Oh, Cal's acting like she's a space physicist.
She's over there like Googling everything so she can turn around and yell at us.
No, she does know that because she's always talking. It's like it's like if somebody was asking you a question and they just asked you the question that you knew the most about.
Yeah.
Like if someone's like, "All right, Nick, it's time for your test. It's on EverQuest." And I was like, "Or for you." And they're like, "All right, the questions are all Batman based."
Yeah.
So Cal actually does know about Jupiter's storm, but that's because she's so interested in the Jupiter storm.
Yeah. Julie says she's the Googler.
But the Jupiter storm is super interesting. The fact that it just never dies, because we've never seen that anywhere before.
Yeah.
Busty, the guy who doesn't sleep and watches too much shit. That's how I am too a lot. Space is just really interesting overall because it's so not even talking about the massive scale of the planets. No, I don't think you only know one thing. I'm just saying that's one thing that I knew that you knew was the storm planet. I think you know more than one thing.
Yeah.
The time scale. Like, I'm not talking about scale of movement, scale of size. The fact that the universe moves in billions with a B. Like,
yeah.
What an interesting concept. Like, nothing changes on a planet for thousands of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. And not to mention the idea of I've always been enthralled with the idea of how speed of light works, like the
Yeah.
idea that
Hmm.
we could see a star, but it might already be dead, like
Yeah.
because of how light
I love
works.
how I think Neil said it, that like it's almost like
Stepped
time
up.
traveling when you look
Yeah.
into space. Like when you see that light,
Yeah.
actually where it's at, it's actually dead. We're just seeing like the flash of its
Right, right,
death.
right. Like you're seeing a shadow of its former self. You're seeing
Yeah.
light from millions of years ago. What an interesting idea.
Yeah, it's almost like looking at a picture of yourself or something, in the same respect of time traveling, seeing yourself back in that moment of time.
Right. It's like literally that light that you're seeing now was made like before Earth existed, essentially. And it's just like what a cool idea. Now, of course, these are all theories. None of these are 100% proven because we don't know always. Like we know a lot. We know how the speed of light and we know how space vacuums work, so we're pretty sure, but who knows for sure how light works in the concept.
Loreline says that we are ranked number 13 in talk shows currently. Thank you, everyone.
Lucky number 13.
Love
Or unlucky, I guess, rather. 13's an
13.
evil number, isn't it?
Is it? Oh, Friday the 13th.
Right.
Yeah.
Unlucky.
I've always, like, whenever Friday the 13th comes around, I'm always like, oh no, what's going to happen? But nothing ever happens.
Oh my god, it's like you're just asking for
It's
it.
almost like I'm asking for it.
I had the never mind button. There are so many things I'm interested in space. I'm so interested in universe and multiverse theory. I'm so interested in life and intelligent life versus non-intelligent life. Like how depressing would it be if we're what the best that the universe has to offer?
That would be absolutely just.
Wouldn't that just be
That
devastating?
would destroy me.
Like if every planet you landed on there was just a dumber, worse species.
Well, yeah, because like
and
we're all
the
led to
best.
believe that like a more superior intelligent life form has visited us more than once,
Right.
And
I don't believe that, but I hear what you're saying.
You don't believe that intelligent life has visited us, or you don't think that they're more intelligent than us.
Oh, if they visited us, they're more intelligent because they have space travel. So
you're just saying you don't believe in aliens.
yeah. Again, there's gonna be a lot of Neil deGrasse Tyson talk.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things. Me and Cal watch the clip all the time because it's one of my favorite clips. So the idea is that the idea being that between humans and chimps, there's like a 2% difference in DNA that leads to our intelligence.
Yeah.
And so that we're talking the difference between eating like leaves on the ground and like beating each other up and throwing your poop to inventing arts and science and math. That's 2% like difference in DNA.
Yeah.
And this is all Neil. Everything I'm saying now, not my own stuff. Neil deGrasse Tyson. So the idea being that even if the space travelers were 2%, higher on the evolutionary scale than we are, that they would land on Earth and they would just literally not like jokingly be like, nope, no intelligent life, like, and fly away. Like they would look at us like we were animals, like
like we're just a zoo planet.
Right. Like they land and they're like, oh, cute, a dog and a human, and then they just fly off because they're like, there's no intelligent life. Because when we look at monkeys, I mean, we know they have some intelligence, but we wouldn't call them intelligent.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, that monkey's adorable.
It's like how we look at lab rats.
Right. So like if they're smart enough to fly through space, figure out thermodynamics, to figure out how to move with thrusting and warp drives and jumping, they would look at humans like, oh, they're adorable. Let's go to the next planet. Like,
yeah, but what about the theory that like we were visited by aliens back in Egypt and then they helped us with technology? What if they've come back to check on our progress?
I just never understood why they.
Or what if they're just like, what if we're just an experiment and they're trying not to intervene so much?
I'm not saying it's impossible, but like, what technology? What possible technology could they have given us?
They've showed us like metal crafting and like I think glass making and better agriculture. I think.
Wouldn't we have something better than that? Like, if ancient Egypt is the best the aliens had to offer, then they weren't doing that much better than us.
Yeah. What about the theory that like they actually came to live with ancient Egypt? Like there's like
Yeah.
they looked at some of the mummies and like they said like some of them have elongated like appendages and their
Right,
skulls
right.
were like bigger to house a bigger brain or whatever.
Yeah, I think that there's some interesting concepts behind there, but almost always those are found to be under a specific set of circumstances that were unrelated to uh anything extraterrestrial. But
Yeah, like you just think like it was just like a mutation or
yeah,
like
yeah,
just
like stuff like that. Like
d-
it's not like I just don't think that if alien life landed on Earth, I don't think they'd be that interested in us. I don't think we have enough to offer them. I think they would just
yeah.
like what would we give them? Like they're like, sure, here
What
we'll
if they're
share our
just
technology,
but what if
but
they're like what if they're just waiting for us like what if they're just like a moral driven species
yeah,
and they're just
yeah.
waiting for us to die off or kill ourselves so they can then harvest whatever resources is left on this planet.
That is more likely.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not saying aliens never visited. I'm saying I don't think aliens just like handed off technology to humans
Yeah.
because we have something that, like
You don't think like one day like they saw like a human, say it was ancient Egypt
Yeah.
human, and he's like doing something to create fire, and the alien's like,
we had
hold
fire
on,
way before that.
hold on, okay, well, okay, what if he's making a drawing or whatever,
Yeah.
and the alien came down and was like, hold on, you might get a better result if you do this, and then just stepped away.
Have you ever met a human? That human would have stabbed that thing with a rock.
You
If
sure?
a crazy
I mean,
alien
back then they
popped
were
up,
like, back then they were believing that burning bushes was like the voice of God. I mean,
allegedly,
I would.
because,
I mean,
that's-
obviously, I wouldn't say that they weren't freaked at first, but maybe,
right.
you know.
I don't know. I can't. I don't feel like we wouldn't know that. Like that there wouldn't
Yeah.
be proof of it somewhere. When we find proof of like
I mean, there's like
nonsensical shit.
I mean, do we know exactly what every hieroglyphic symbol was?
No, and I was really excited by that. Do you remember that time they found that one that had the plane and the helicopter on it?
Yeah,
They fucked up. They found out why it was that.
yeah,
Again, but it was still really funny, like the idea. So they found out, if you guys aren't familiar with that, look up just like Google helicopter hieroglyphic. It'll pop it up and show it to you. And it was the name of two separate emperors, or I guess what are they called there? Pharaohs. And they essentially over chiseled the new pharaoh's name over the other one, and it just so happened out of pure luck that the shapes when overlapped were like a helicopter, and it
Yeah.
was so fucking interesting.
What must he say there?
The universe is full of solar systems that have very similar builds and makeups. Infinity means in another dimension, me and you are presenting a podcast, and King Cord and Nix are discussing them, presenting them in another dimension. Yes, that's multiverse theory.
Yeah.
So that there's a few different types of multiverse theory. One is kind of based on a never-ending infinity of choices, so that every day, every choice you make throughout your entire life, there's another universe where you made that other choice,
The
and
opposite
vice
choice.
versa. Yeah, so like, I mean, you could imagine, like, just today, I decided to wake up instead of decided to sleep in. I decided to come to the podcast instead of decided to text that I was sick. I
Yeah.
decided to come here and do the podcast instead of texting you being like, let's Skype it today. I decided to have a Mountain Dew. And I decided,
Yeah.
like, so maybe all of those.
So like, so basically, you're saying like, alternate universe King Cord is skinny.
Could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could be.
And like maybe
yeah.
he's not like doing a podcast. Maybe he's
Yeah. Maybe he's not doing a podcast.
maybe he's just
or
like staying at home.
it also depends on your multiverse theory. Some multiverses take into account that we would be the same person, and some take into account that you could have different, difference altogether.
Yeah.
So you might be doing the podcast in theory in almost every version because that's who you are as a person, is doing that kind of work. But
Yeah.
maybe in one you're doing it with, maybe in one universe you moved to London and you and Musty are doing the podcast because you decided that you wanted to do something different. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like all sorts of shit.
That'd be cool.
That's some like
we should get together, Musty, in London.
yes, and also the exact same choice. So
Yeah.
an ultimate, a never-ending universe, multiverse, where there's a infinite number of yous all making the same and different choices throughout all of time and space.
That just reminds me of those like those mirrors where they put like lights in them, but they look like an
Infinity
like,
mirrors,
like
yeah.
just a complete hallway of lights down the mirror.
Also, that is hands down my favorite episode of Rick and Morty, where they break time.
Yeah,
And they put on the collars like at the end.
yeah,
But like, I don't know why, but I love when he's like, when he unsinks himself slightly, and he's like, "That old bastard's gonna kill me." I just love that.
I like the when in Futurama when they discover the other universes. And like instead of a red coat, Fry's wearing a green coat. He's got
Yes,
black hair
yes.
instead of red hair. And
All because you chose a Big Mac 10 years ago instead of a quarter pounder or Five Guys. But yes, exactly. It's so interesting.
yeah,
And a lot of that is stuff that I don't know that I mean, it's beyond comprehension. You can try, but I don't know that you could ever grasp a full exact. I don't think you could ever grasp it like 100% because it's too insane. Like to get the idea that there is an infinite number of every person in the world, but like also confusing because in some multiverses you might have died young, in some multiverses you might get old, in some you might never die, and some you might always die, and some you may never not have ever been born because the multiverse where your parents didn't meet. Like I mean, there's just like
isn't it so hard to think that there's a universe out there where there's just a gravestone?
yeah.
Like I died young, or
Yeah.
or I wasn't birthed, or things like that. Like that's kind of hard to think.
Then it
about
also
too.
gets weird. Like, are we connected to our own multiverse? Like, I'm just like, let's say we go to an alternate universe, right? You and me,
Yeah.
we travel. We
Uh-huh.
we go to an alternate universe, and I bang your wife and you bang my girlfriend. Is that weird?
A little weird.
Because they're not actually your wife and my girlfriend.
Yeah, see, that's the
that
hard
weird?
thing, because then that's the hard thing. If you ever like, and especially in like the episode of Futurama where like, and that alternate universe,
Where he bangs his. Oh, I thought you were gonna talk about when he bangs his own grandma.
well, that too, but that wasn't an alternate universe.
That was just time
he
travel.
went back in time. In the alternate universe, though, Green Coat Fry was actually married to Leela.
Yes, yeah.
And his universe, Leela and him were on like a rocky path or whatever.
Don't believe in multiverse theory. People, places, etc. similar, but an exact alternate. I get you. Well, technically, it's true. There's not an exact alternate. At least, there could be because multiverse technically means infinite. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of multiverses where it would not be an exact replica, because of different choices.
And so there would be like there's just another universe where I'm doing the same thing right
Dude,
now.
and I really fucks with me a lot, like the choice theory and all that. Like what if? I mean, we're going into what if territory here. But what if because I decided to take this drink, I get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the podcast, and some billionaire comes in and he's like, I would sponsor this podcast, but somebody got up in the middle. That's a little unprofessional, and he just leaves. Or I drink the soda and I have to go to the bathroom, so I trip on a wire and break my neck and die. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I should have had the soda. Like, fuck, man, I can't
Yeah.
even think about that for too long because then I'm afraid to make any choices.
Yeah, because like, what would you call that? I guess would that be like fate or whatever? That like goes alongside everything.
yeah,
Like if I did this choice and then this, it will lead up to this or whatever.
Yeah, like I just mean like, what if I'm just scared of every choice, and they're not even your fault. But like, what if because Cal drove me here today, she got in a car accident on her way home, and all because I didn't just drive myself.
Yeah.
Like, because I didn't have gas. Like, and again, I didn't have gas because I'm a full-time streamer. I haven't gotten paid by Twitch because I don't make enough money. Like, all these
Yeah.
choices sync up until something good or bad happens. And dude, that shit, I just need to smoke a joint and go lay down for a while
Yeah.
after thinking about that for too long.
I don't know if I've like fully accepted fate or whatever, but I
Butterfly.
probably just don't think about it too much.
I don't think about fate because I'm too rebellious. I don't like the idea that anything decides what I do,
Yeah.
even though it does. Like, realistically, I know that all my choices are not me, but just pre-wiring in my brain that does the best it can, like,
Yeah.
based on it with its mental illness and such. I get it, but I don't like the idea of any of it. I like to think that I get to make my own choices. So I just kind of ignore fate, like, 100% of the time.
Yeah.
That Fate. I like I'll give Fate some credit sometimes, like, you know, if something good happens, but it's kind of like biblical. Like I like to give Fate credit when good things happen,
Yeah.
but not like give it credit when bad things happen. It's kind of like a God and devil thing, you know.
I kind of see it this way. Like I definitely see it like if I make this choice, if I do this, it's going to lead up to this, whether I know it or not.
Yeah.
But I don't think it as like it's a higher power picking my choices for me and I just don't know it, like subconsciously or whatever. I see it more like I did this choice and by some kind of like I can't remember what it's called. Reaction.
Yeah.
I was gonna say chemical reaction, but like a reaction because I did this is going to happen, you know. That's what I don't.
Yeah.
If you guys know the technical term
Musty
of
and
that.
Loreline. I don't particularly personally believe in. I wouldn't call myself an atheist. Again, because I'm bad at making choices.
Yeah.
I tend to side on agnostic. I don't believe in anything, but would never say with 100% certainty
Like you're just
that
waiting.
nothing exists.
You're just waiting for the end to see what the result is.
Yeah, like I don't believe that. I definitely do not believe in a monotheistic Christian God.
Yeah.
But I believe that there's a possibility that there's something greater out there, even if it's not a person or a being. I mean, no matter what, whatever built the universe, even if it was just pure dumb evolutionary luck, whatever just put everything together, that's bigger than me. You know what I mean? That's bigger than me no matter what. So I like to call myself agnostic. I tend to be more atheist. I lean toward atheism, but I think technically I'm agnostic because I believe that something put the universe together, not a god particularly.
Yeah.
I tend to think of it as more of a cosmic force, I guess.
Cosmic force. Just
Yeah.
like the Big Bang.
Like, yeah, like I don't think that something jump-started the universe. Probably not a god. Don't think it's a god.
Yeah.
But something, even if it's just as simple as two electrons being like, just, you know, whatever happened, it came from somewhere, or it didn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fuck, maybe it didn't. What do I know? But
I mean, that's the hard question to answer.
Yeah,
is like,
that's why I land on
what started
agnostic.
it? What put whatever it was that started it there? You
right,
know?
and I'm super excited. That's why I'm so interested by the idea of it being the star exploding and then the black hole.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, chicken or egg there, what started the first star, you know, is still up for grabs there.
Yeah.
But this is why Satanic Bible made the most sense. Oh, yeah. No, it's true, actually.
Yeah.
I watched a whole documentary on Satanism or I can't remember, satanic religion.
Yeah.
And it was actually really kind of beautiful. Like that is a lot of their stuff. Like you can kind of do whatever you do what you want. There's no like the choices you make only affect you unless you bring other people into it. Like you don't, as long as you don't hurt other people, you're kind of free to make your own choices.
Yeah.
If you hadn't come for another race to have explored the universe. Yeah, exactly. That could be it too. That's very likely too. Cal kind of brought that up, and it's kind of what you were bringing up earlier a little bit. There's every chance that aliens stopped here, and at some point, I'm not saying that aliens couldn't have stopped here and just been like, dude, let's throw these fuckers off the ship. Just kick some people off here, and they just started living life.
Like wouldn't that be like a hilarious story if humanity was actually just like a couple individuals on a spaceship?
Yeah,
who were like nobody liked, and like let's just throw them on this prison planet.
Dude, but
that's how our fucking race started.
Don't call me a prison planet. That'll
what
fuck
if
with me.
What if we are a prison planet?
I can't handle the idea of being
on
a prison
What if
planet.
aliens are like, dude, just drop them off on that fucking island. They're too stupid. They're not gonna figure shit out. But we did, obviously. But then we forgot that we were, you know, or we were like too full of ourselves that we didn't want to like.
No, yeah, I'm not saying that we've never been visited by aliens or that we couldn't be descendant from, because we watched the thing because I was curious about it. And Neil said that bacteria can survive like space to some degree. It's rare, but it can. Like, in theory, a whole world could be jump started by a meteor hitting it with a little bacteria, and that like.
Well, that's
spreads.
a lot. That's actually how a few diseases started here on Earth. Was a meteorite hit and like
Have
somewhere
they
in
ever
Europe.
proven that?
I'm pretty sure they
I've
did.
heard that as a theory, but I don't know if they've proven
I think
it.
there was one in South America, and I think there was one in somewhere in Europe, like way back then. But like a meteor hit, and it was almost like a mustard gas or whatever, and then like people started breathing it in, and then they were getting really sick and starting.
I'm
to
not
die
saying
off.
that's impossible by any means, but I've heard that as a theory. I didn't know if they'd ever linked it to any diseases we currently have.
But yeah, isn't that what's that?
Yes. Oh, Musty beat me to it because of Musty beat me to it. So I just said that, but because of the delay, you probably said that on chat before I finished that. But yeah, that's something that or aliens landing and just leaving stuff behind, like those are all totally viable. I just don't believe that aliens landed and were like, "Here's how you build a pyramid, motherfucker." Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Why?
Well, maybe they didn't have like the pyramids in mind, but they showed them how to make the materials better, and then we came up with this stupid pyramid shape.
Oh, so we're thinking they didn't want to they didn't teach us anything good. Like they didn't teach us.
They showed us how to work with metals and like
Right, but if they're
weld
doing that out of their
and
goodness of their heart, they weren't like,
smelt.
but also maybe you shouldn't have those slaves.
Maybe
that you're whipping to
the
death.
slaves came later though. Like, what if they passed the knowledge on, say to the pharaoh, and the pharaoh's like, "Oh, that's great," and then he's like, "But I don't want to do this by myself because that's kind of hard work. So I'll make all these people do it for me, or like I'll make these people do all the hard work, but I'll show them how to do it. You know."
Oh my god. People that believed in Darwin were pissed. Yeah.
What if they did visit, and they like something about them?
Oh, Musty, or even those hummingbirds. The hummingbirds with the what are they called? Those hummingbirds where their
like
beak is
snorkel thingies?
it's what?
The snorkel beak or whatever.
Yeah, the hummingbird that has one. It's like literally like twice the length of its body, and it can. It's the only reason it has it is those long fucking flowers that it can poke up and get that the other hummingbirds can't. And that's similar to what you were saying, Musty. That
Don't bees
blows my
is
fucking
it bees
mind.
or is it flies who have like the really long tongue that like unravels, but it's like twice its size?
I think tongues. Well, they both have long tongues. I don't know which one has the longest.
It might be the bee because they're the ones who are like getting the pollen.
Yeah. No, like it's super Darwinism definitely exists. No matter how in my opinion, no matter how the universe started, whether it was alien or organic or whatever, I still believe that Darwinism, that survival of the fittest and that evolution exists no matter what. Bees have the long tongues.
This is one insect on an entire planet.
Yeah, he's saying that there's one insect on the entire planet that can eat this one flower because of its shape.
Oh, okay,
And
I see what you're saying.
there's another version of that they talk about it on Blue Planet or one of those, and it's a hummingbird that can drink one flower and that other ones can't reach.
Like the Planet Earth on BBC.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good
Excuse me,
documentary right there.
yesterday.
Pretty good documentary series.
It is really good.
And
I like the voice actor or the announcer. I can't remember his name, but the guy, he's the BBC guy that does all the nature documentaries.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Yeah. The thing that I think is interesting is that here on planet Earth, we're still discovering other like species and other animals and shit. Like there's parts of the ocean that we haven't even discovered.
Oh yeah, which really freaks me out.
When we're finally like embarking on them, we're finding like other kinds of like sea life, and it's crazy.
And some things really gotta fuck with you. Yeah, no, Musty, that's true. Or even things like MRSA, where bacteria. I mean, we see bacteria become immune all the time to antibiotics. That'll probably be the death of us.
The common cold's always changing.
That too. Can't even fucking fight that.
So what about the idea where aliens visited us and say like something on them, like on their persons, like say they're like slimy or some shit like that?
Why do they gotta be slimy?
Just say it. Just say that they're slimy.
Okay, they're slimy.
All right, and now that they stepped off their like planet,
they're slimy because they're lizard people. They're still here, people.
Yeah, and they left some kind of like byproduct or whatever, and then that like inside of it was like some kind of germ or like microscopic animal that just like spread out.
Our skin is covered in microscopic bacteria. Why are they gotta be
I know,
slimy?
but I'm just saying like that could have happened.
Right, so why they gotta be slimy though?
I was just describing a way that would be easier to comprehend them stepping off their planet and leaving something behind.
Dude, I just left something on your couch. Why they gotta be slimy?
I was just trying to make it easier for people to think about, man. Like we produce like oils and stuff, and everything we touch we leave behind.
Yeah, we are kind of slimy.
Yeah, we
That's
ourselves are
true.
kind of slimy. So I'm saying like say like there's an oil that the alien produced or something
They're
that
ants?
come aliens.
Oh, they said ant aliens.
And they could be anti-aliens. I don't know what it could be. Anti-aliens,
Damn
like giant
Democrats.
giant ants that came off of a UFO. They touch the ground, the oil's off their skin, or whatever it is that they're made
I
out of.
have heard
Left something behind.
Mama.
You know that's how we probably got like half our germs right there.
Could have been.
Half our fucking. What's the there's I don't know if it's a germ or if they consider it an animal, but there's like a microscopic thing that looks like a like over bloated snorkel pig that
Fuck is
can
a snorkel pig.
I don't know what it's called. That's why I'm asking you. And it like
Wha-
they found
dude,
it like
How is that a descriptive word?
what?
What a snorkel pig.
Because it like it looks like it's like
Like it looks like a pig wearing a snorkel?
it looks like a pig that only has a snorkel for a face. Like the rest of its body is so like,
Okay.
it looks like swollen almost, and like it doesn't have eyes or
Is
anything.
it
It's
some
just
sort
got
of
like a little
mite?
snorkel, and it has like 4 or 6 legs.
Is it a mite? Like some sort of mite or like what
It might be. It's so microscopic. It feeds out. It eats like germs and shit.
I'm sure we can
But-
find it.
It's so like versatile that like they found it like frozen on top of mountains and in glaciers and stuff where it's suspended in time, but as soon as you reheat it, it reanimates.
Yeah, like they can just
But
start back
they
up.
also said that they also made claims that it could also like survive on the sun.
Interesting.
And it's here on Earth. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I'm
though.
sure it's just some sort of
Man bear pig.
an anteater. Snorkel pig.
Yeah, someone look that up. There's a germ that looks like a snorkel pig.
It's probably some sort of mite.
It might be a mite, but yeah, like what if that's an alien?
It could be.
I mean, that has everything you need to
Well, that's-
survive in space.
That's why it gets super confusing, right? Because like because we can't tell what might have dropped here from space and what is just evolutionary, whether it's
Yeah.
from space or from us.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, like, what if that came from space? That could be an alien living with us.
yeah, it also depends on how strong you think evolution is, because like can evolution form something out of nothing, or did there have to be something here to start with? Did something have to drop out of space to give us something to work with, or can it just take can evolution just decide one day at the bottom of the ocean where all the molecules are touching that carbon from the rock and that hydrogen and oxygen from the water just like bump into each other and boom, we have an organism? I don't really know that they could do that. I don't quite understand how that would work, but you never know. I mean, if you've got all the pieces, the building blocks, because that's what we're all carbon, we're all oxygen, we're all hydrogen.
Oh, it looks like Loreline found it. It's a tardigrades.
Tardigrades? Thanks, Google.
Thanks, Google.
Might be a mite. Ah, Kappa.
Water bears or moss piglets.
Moss piglet's pretty close to what you said.
Right? Right?
Snorkel pig, yeah, that's pretty close.
Let's see what this brings up.
Yeah, let's see. I want to see a picture of it.
Yeah, just like that.
I can see a snorkel pig.
Right? It's got like 8 legs. I was 2 legs off. But yeah, they said that they found this thing frozen in like glaciers, and it's just suspensed in time. And as soon as they reheat it, it reanimates.
Okay, see they can't.
As low as negative 450 degrees Fahrenheit,
Yeah.
and as high as I was a little off, as high as 302 degrees.
So not quite the sun.
No, but it's still an extreme
but
temperature.
extreme heat. Yeah. Those are the kind of things that we could find on places like Mars, probably.
Yeah. Or like on the outside of a spaceship entering an atmosphere.
Exactly.
Although I don't know how hot that shit gets.
Probably hotter than 300 degrees.
Yeah, probably.
But it said for minutes, so maybe they can live
Mhm.
for a few seconds if you just
Yeah.
pop right through.
Yeah.
Or inside the ship. I mean, either way, they're everywhere. Like,
But yeah,
God, space is weird.
this is weird.
So and you know, sometimes I'm always worried. I think maybe not everyone worries about this, But ever since I had a legit existential life crisis after I had that bad trip on some like LSD laced weed that my nephew gave me.
Yeah.
And ever like after all that, Cal's tired of hearing about it. But for a while I was really convinced that I didn't exist. Legit. Not like even after I came down from it, like it gave
Yeah.
me a true existential life crisis. And I was so worried that the entire universe is just a construct of like
Just an
myself,
idea.
you know, like a construct
Yeah.
of your own thinking.
Like you made it in your head.
Right. Like I'm maybe in a multiverse, I'm just in a coma and this is where I'm living in my coma.
Yeah.
Don't listen to Cal. Fuck
This is
Cal.
this is all just a dream for you.
Yeah, but yeah, like did I invent everything? No,
I think
didn't because that's nonsensical.
I
This
had
is
that
not a dream. But if
for-
it were,
yeah, I had that when I was really younger, and I don't know why, but you know the video game Medieval.
heard of it. I haven't played it.
Well, like from PlayStation 1, basically,
Yeah, I
you're
remember
like
when
the
it was a
corpse of
thing.
like a King's Knight or whatever gets
Yeah.
reanimated. For some reason, I was playing that game, and I don't even think the game even suggested, but I was just playing this game, and I'm like, what if we're just nothing? Like this isn't real. Like this
Yes,
is just
that's
some
what I'm
kind of
saying.
program we're all just a part of. And when we watched Matrix too, it was I kind of felt that way too. Like we're
Yeah.
all just computer programs.
Well, that's because you weren't there, Cal. It was a terrifying experience. She wasn't there for it. I just rolled around on the bed freaking out for like 12 hours.
Yeah, you see you just like in the fetal position, like rolling from
I
side
was.
to side.
I'm very open about it. It was the worst experience I've ever had with any drug.
Yeah.
And because I don't do drugs. It's not my thing.
Yeah,
I when I go to Colorado, I will eat or smoke a little weed, you know,
Yeah.
like that's fine. I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. But never take your weed from your fucking drug addict nephew because it gets
that
dipped
may
in
or
LSD
may not be
something.
laced with LSD.
And I had this horrible.
You know, like 30 years from now,
Did I
you're,
tell
you're
you
gonna
about
have a
the whole
trip again.
thing?
Huh?
I've told-
You've never told me that.
Well, then Cal has to listen to it a little bit, but like,
Sorry, Cal.
yeah, this is something I ate.
You ate.
Yes, it's
So it was
exactly
like a
what's
brownie.
No, it was in the form of gummies with the oil
Oh, okay,
within
okay.
gummy,
Yeah.
and
Did he tell you? Did
no,
he tell
didn't
you it was
tell me.
laced?
He swears there was no LSD in it, but come on, man.
Maybe he's so used to it that he doesn't.
Yeah,
he can't tell anymore.
I've eaten and smoked enough weed in my life that I know what weed does, and it doesn't make you fucking hallucinate like
Yeah.
that. I was laying on my bed, and my vision was real pinholed. Like everything looked like you could only see like a point in front of you, and everything else was
tunnel vision?
blurred. Yeah, like dark blur
Yeah.
all to this point.
Yeah.
And I was like, I gotta go lay down. So
I gotta
then-
find the bed.
when I was laying down, I had these vivid fucking I guess dreams,
Yeah.
hallucinations, a mixture of the two.
Yeah.
That I was in a coma in a hospital and that my friends and family were trying to wake me up and that this weird place that I was in while I was
Like
hallucinating
purgatory?
was like caught between the two and I was trying to break out
Yeah.
or get pulled back in.
How was that? Like, was it just like a dark, like vast? You're just like,
Dude, I don't know, but it
and you can just see
fucked
like
with
a
me.
tunnel, like a little window of your like family trying to wake you
Yeah,
up.
yeah. Like I could see where my brain wanted me to go,
Yeah.
but I couldn't like get there. I was kind of it seriously fucked with me.
That sounds terrifyingly crazy. See, like,
Oh, I had weed with angel dust once. It does and it can.
see, I
I've
don't.
never had I've never had. Well, fuck Cal. She can be mad all she wants, but it was a really life altering, terrifying thing.
Yeah.
It was
That's
really scary.
That's a big deal.
It seriously scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And for weeks, I literally felt like I didn't exist.
Yeah.
Like, and then I started to kind of, you get regrounded. I
Mhm.
kind of regrounded myself.
And how'd you do
I
that?
I was looking for things, and I finally kind of was like, okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
And now I'm better. but I'm still like really haunted by it.
Yeah.
I just am now,
Do you
not
ever
as
like
freaked
snap
out.
back and go, is this really happening? Is the cereal really pouring into the bowl right now? See, when I was in high school, I did a joint. Did a joint. I smoked a joint with my brother.
Yeah, I did eat it. Yes, Musty. I ate it.
All it did was just made me like super giggly.
Yeah, all the time. I used to. I have smoked and ate so much weed in my life, and
Yeah.
never have I had a bad reaction to it. But just this one time, this one fucking time, literally scared the shit out of me. And now I'm like, I don't touch it.
You don't touch that stuff. You're like, I don't know what's in there.
It felt, but anyway, that obviously that wasn't about space, but it was about
Yeah.
like reality. Like it.
Yeah,
fucked with
your
my-
reality.
That was the only time that my actual, like legit, my reality felt off kilter. Didn't care for that at all. You injected a joint.
Yeah, all it did was just make me super giggly and paranoid.
Oh, okay.
But that's it.
Musty basically saying that it can make you hallucinate because they fuck up the chemical ratio.
Yeah.
They could have poured like 5, and I ate like 4 of them.
Probably hit,
Because,
probably threw in like 8 hits of LSD.
yeah, it was partially my fault because, you're supposed to eat 1 every 6 hours. And I was like, give me 2. Because, like, I do it all the
just
time.
got like a handful.
Pretty much. Like, so far in my life, that's how I've always
Yeah,
smoked.
you're like,
and
are
ate
these
weed.
Habaros, whatever they're called? The
Yeah, it fucked with me.
the top of the line gummy bear brand.
Did you eat the whole bear or a paw?
Was it little? Were they the little ones, or were
I
they like
smoke
a
every day,
giant
I'm
one?
afraid. They were pretty big. I
They
mean,
were
they were like big cubes.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Just pop 2 of those within 1 hour. That's probably like
I popped 2 of those back to back.
Oh, so that's probably like what 4 or 5.
I thought it was
hits
gonna
right
be a
there.
good day. I was gonna work on music. I thought I was gonna eat a little bit
yeah,
of
you're
weed
like,
and
oh,
then like
I'm gonna get the creative juices.
yeah, like
moving
I thought I was just
now.
gonna eat some weed, write some beats on the beat pad, and listen to Colton rap. And I ended up rolling around the fetal position, questioning life.
Did he bail? Did he like leave?
Yeah, after I was laying in the fetal position for 3 hours.
He's like, oh, he's having a bad trip. I better get the fuck out of here.
Well, because I was shaking and being like, "What'd you give me?"
What'd you give me? This wasn't supposed to happen.
And he's for those of you that don't know my nephew, I mean, he's like a druggie. Like he
Yeah.
does like Xans and perks and whatever he can get his fucking hands on. So he's like, I'm like, are you freaking out? Like, is it something in it? He's like, nah, man, I feel good. Because he does so much drugs.
Yeah.
And I'm like freaking the fuck out.
Have you ever? This is way off topic, but have you ever seen that video where these guys give this guy, one of their friends, like I think it's like salvia or something, and like the whole time he's just like sitting in the couch like this, and like can't remember how long it was, but it was like maybe an hour or 2 later he comes to, and he's like, dude, how was it? And he's like, dude, I just had a whole lifetime. I was married.
I don't like shit like that.
I had kids. I had a job. They're like, dude, no, you're just sitting here on
No,
the couch the whole time.
I hate shit like that. I don't want hallucinations ever.
It reminds me of that episode of Rick and Morty where they have the video. I think it's like Roy or something, where they play as the guy who becomes a carpet salesman, and then like at the end of the game,
Yes.
he rips him out. He's like,
Yeah.
dude, what the fuck? I had
You-
cancer.
You went back to the carpet store, Morty. You never go back to the carpet store. That's the difference between us.
So funny.
Yeah, it really effective edible dose is 20 and one bear is as little as 120. Jesus. Well, I ate a lot. I ate 2 large cubes, and also it was sativa. I tend to do prefer indica strains because sativa, the upper part of it kind of makes my blood pressure increase. Like it makes
Yeah.
my heart go fast, which is fun if you're going to like a party or something.
Yeah.
But like if you're just sitting at home, like
Working
on
on
the couch,
music.
working on something, it really fucks with you a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, Cal, I'll try to do that. We're gonna be wrapping up the podcast in about. Well, we're wrapping up the podcast in about 30 minutes, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll be cutting it close, but I'll try to hurry home.
Yeah, we'll drive fast.
We'll drive fast.
We'll drive
Leave
fast.
beautiful corpses. But no, like all right. So back off of drugs. It's not a
Yeah.
druggy podcast,
No, it's space.
but
Spurs.
that fucked with my reality. we'll leave it at that until
Which
20 minutes
kinda
later when I have
relates
to
to
talk
space.
about it again, according to Cal.
Yeah.
I don't talk about it that
As soon as you get home and walking through the door, you're like, remember that time I was
Cal is being unfair. It was a life-altering, perceptional, bizarre situation that caused me heavy mental distress.
Yes.
And frankly, I have not felt the same since. Hopefully, it'll work itself out. Screech said it earlier. I read that it can take you like a year or two before your brain chemistry rebalances after drooled.
Well, didn't they say
After-
like something in school, like LSD, like you can have like another trip in 30 years if you take it once?
It depends. Well, certain things are what we call fat soluble.
Yeah.
So chemicals that are fat soluble can store in your body and reactivate when the fat burns, like when
Oh.
you use the fat.
So like say like some dude in his 20s took a hit of LSD and he's been fat like most of his life, but then that one day he decides to go to the gym and he burns it.
I don't know if LSD is fat soluble, but if it is, then yeah, in theory, that in
Like he's
theory,
just
that
like
could be a
running on
thing.
the treadmill and all of a sudden he's like fucking running in the fields of China.
Your liver is supposed to keep that from happening, but it doesn't
Yeah.
always work right.
I mean, like I think I've even heard stories like
about that brain chemistry. This drooling on himself.
I think I've heard a story where like some dude in the military or like maybe the dude from like CIA or something tried it, and then like later in his life he tripped again.
Yeah, although that was during MK Ultra, a lot of people died on that shit they were giving at people.
Yeah,
The MK
I think
Ultra. That's a conspiracy that got confirmed. So some conspiracies happen.
Yeah. Isn't that the documentary Wormwood on Netflix? It
Was
was the
that the one
first
about
guy
the
they.
CIA giving people LSD?
I think it was CIA's their first like dude they gave it to who was
Yeah.
within the CIA or whatever.
Yeah. They did it on their own people first, but then they also gave it to some civilians that signed up, and I think the MK Ultra ended up killing like 20 or 30 people or something like that.
Yeah. Although I think in the documentary they tried to pass it
Yeah,
off as
Musty's
like he
right.
jumped out the window of his hotel
Yeah.
himself, but then they later in the documentary we find out like two guys actually like from the CIA showed up in the middle of the night, and like I think they scared the living shit out of him.
Yeah, so he jumped.
and
or
so he
was trying to
jumped, or
escape.
they might have thrown him out. I can't remember now because it's been so
Either.
long. But yeah, those are my neighbors upstairs.
That was they wouldn't have broke the noise gate, but Jesus Christ,
Oh,
what the
yeah.
fuck are they doing up there?
Next episode we won't have them. We'll be in the townhome.
Yeah, we're back to space. Although the CIA, maybe they have space stations and they don't tell us. They do
Maybe.
a lot of
There's a
secret
lot of
shit.
stuff our government's hiding from us about space and aliens.
I don't believe that, but
I believe it completely.
I believe that there are some things that they might hide, but not like I don't believe in the whole Area 51 aliens are captured in there.
I don't
They've
think-
got pieces of ships.
I don't think I believe all of that. I don't think they're holding
Whoa,
the
whoa,
information.
Musty. The Earth is flat, bro. I can't even say
No.
it. Like, can't even
I don't
say it.
believe. I don't believe the Earth is flat now.
Oh God, flat Earth.
Flat Earth is
Earthers.
ridiculous.
There are two people that I will just outright hate. I'm sorry if you're one of these people, but there are two types of people in the world that just by your views, I will instantly hate you, and they are flat earthers and anti-vaxxers.
Yeah, but I agree with both of those. I think flat Earthers
Oh, Cal beat me to it.
is
Well, yeah.
proof how even though we're like an intelligent species,
Yeah.
we are just like monkeys where it's just monkey see, monkey do, monkey, one dude maybe even jokingly yelled out, Earth is flat. And then everyone's like, that's interesting. I'm going to follow this guy. And then they all just jump on fucking board.
And they use the worst test. Like the one I showed Cal, the guy put a level on a plane.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, it should have changed based on the curvature of the Earth if it were round."
I hate those memes.
Jesus
But- 'cause
Christ!
those are real. People actually think that. Like,
yeah,
there's a video of a flat earther. He's like, this is a pipe for my local oil refinery. You see how straight this pipe goes along this road? If the world wasn't flat, wouldn't it curve? And I was like, you're a fucking moron.
it's the worst. But, oh, devout Christian and flat earther debates. Oh my God!
I love the
yes.
memes where like people like show like shoes. Like they'll have a picture of a shoe. And I was like, this is what shoes look like if Earth was round when it looked like this, and they like make it like curved. I'm like, you are so fucking ridiculous.
Oh God! No, like flat earthers are. it feels like I bet it was started by a joke. Like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think
Yeah.
somebody said it as a joke. They yelled. It's like yelling fire in public.
yeah, and then everyone just
They're like,
assumes.
Earth is flat, and everyone's like, that sounds like it could be real. And then everyone jumps on it. Like, all the stupid people are like, that sounds real. They don't question the loud person, you know?
Right, right.
They're like, that guy's loud. I'm going to follow him.
And here's where it really gets me. If your entire argument is based on like fake, like if your argument, like if we weren't in space, then they'd have an argument.
Yeah.
I get that.
hmm
But if your entire argument is everything NASA shows us is fake, then you're a fuck. Like, that's
Yeah.
your argument has to be more than they're lying. Like, there has to be more.
Well,
than
that brings me back. I don't think government is like maliciously hiding things from us. I think
we live on a disc on the back of an elephant.
yeah, we live in a bag of marbles in an alien's pouch.
Don't fuck with me, man. I can't handle that. I don't know if you guys know this, but once I had a really bad trip when I was, eating some weed,
yeah?
and if we could just talk about that for a
Go
minute.
ahead. No, what I think is that the government is hiding a lot of information from us because they don't want us to panic. Because there's a lot of us who just can't grip reality, or we don't deal with like sudden changes in the truth,
Right.
And so I think personally they're just kind of like keeping it to themselves to not cause panic and riots and shit.
Right.
And I think NASA is hiding some stuff, but I don't think they're doing it themselves. I think somebody else is telling them that they have to do it, like the
I
government.
get that. Although, wouldn't it be funny? Like, sometimes you almost hope you're wrong. Like, wouldn't it be funny if NASA were lying and the first time we get out there, if Earth is just a pancake?
That would be hilarious.
I'd just be like, son of a bitch.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if like we leave Earth and there's nothing out there? It's just black void.
Oh my god, that would really fuck with me.
Yeah, like maybe they were feeding us like shit. Like they're like, oh yeah, there's planets and other stars out there, but really it's not. It's nothing. It's just all a hologram around Earth.
If I'm in a hologram or an aliens like simulation, if I'm in anything, somebody's getting beat up.
Who would you beat up?
So if I'm in a simulation
head of
right now, you
NASA?
take me out. You take me out right now.
What if we find out that we're actually just like an experiment, and we like there used to be this sci-fi show. It was like a 7-episode show where it was the colony ship basically, and they all believed that they were in space, except one time they decided to throw some people off the ship into space because they were like evil or something, and they actually like when they threw them off the ship, they fell and landed on like a foam pad, and all of a sudden they realized that they're in some kind of like facility or whatever.
Don't like that.
What if that's what we're in?
No,
We're
dude,
just
I
in
don't
a
like that at
giant
all.
project right now. And like,
Also, I just want to point out here, just real quickly before we go on, that I would actually film a video of me getting beaten by Kalhaya's giant dildo if somebody paid me $100. I would outright do it. And we have a comical one. We have one of those suction cup ones that you stick to the wall that's like for playtime. That's like, it's like this big around and it's like this freaking long. And it's like it's just it would be I literally for $100 I would easily make that video and sell
or
it.
she just like beats you across the face.
Yeah, like
with
she
it.
just slap me with it, beat
Pop,
me down.
pop, 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 pop.
I'll cry a little if they
One for each dollar. Pop, pop, pop.
100-hit combo.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting video.
I think we went to the moon, and I believe the videos. I think.
So you believe that we went to the
definitely-
moon, but
I'm
you
with
think
Musty.
the footage is faked?
That's what Musty is saying. I actually believe all of it's real, personally. I think we went to the moon. I think we filmed the video on the moon. I think that it was all real. I, however, am not I'm not 100% sure on the video. I'm 100% sure, in my opinion, that we went to space and went to the moon.
Yeah.
I don't know that the video is real. I think it was.
Musty says the Russians faked it because of the radiation.
Yeah.
I think we went to the moon, and I think all the photographs and stuff from the moon is real.
It's hard to tell because.
But I also think like
it is true. There's no atmosphere on the moon.
Yeah.
And radiation would
you'd be
hurt
bombarded by
electronics.
radiation. Yeah.
But our spaceship survived, so maybe they just encased it in whatever the spaceship was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't have been that hard to make a box of anti-radiation because they were wearing anti-radiation suits, they were wearing anti-radiation plating on the ship. So I think it was possible they made the video, but I can't be for sure.
I think they went to the moon, but I also think they're hiding stuff from us.
I
Like
don't.
how they got like radio interference from the dark side of the moon, and maybe there was like they actually found the alien base on our moon, and they were like they weren't ambushed, but like the aliens were like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing? This is our shit. We're watching you."
They're watching us.
Yeah, that's one of the theories is that there's an alien base. And they think that it's the Greys, which is a type of alien,
Yeah, I know who the Greys are.
who are basically stationed on our moon to watch us on Earth.
Couldn't we see them?
That's the thing is their base is actually made out of like one of the theories is that it's either underground under the crust of the moon, or that they just took like some of the material off of the moon and just molded it into like a base, basically.
Interesting. Like a Minecraft house. They live in a Minecraft house.
Pretty much.
They just made like a little hobbit house.
Yeah, like there's a couple photos that are out there. Hold on, you can't hear me? I don't think we could.
No, I think he's saying Cord is saying that there's aliens that live on the moon that like observe us.
Yeah, I'm saying we went to the moon, like we didn't fake it. We actually went to the moon, and all the footage and photos from the moon are real. I think though there's a lot of stuff that happened when they were on the moon, and a lot of things that they've met on the moon that they're not letting us know exactly. So like, there's a lot of pictures that are surfacing on the internet, the most reliable place to get your information, where you can see like there's some kind of like forms in the land or in the crust of the moon that doesn't seem like it belongs. Like it's not exactly, it's like artificial, is what I'm trying to say. Maybe artificial meaning like it's been made by something else, like it wasn't naturally made. And it looks like there's like a bridge. There looks like there's some buildings. Looks like there's a spaceship that was like being trying to like covered and camoed in some of the material. And there seems to be some kind of like menacing cannon looking thing that's just constantly pointed at Earth. And we don't know if that's their telescope, or we don't know if that's their missiles. We don't know.
I think we do know.
I think we do.
Photoshop.
I don't think it's Photoshop. I think it's real. I think we need to sit down with Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin and whoever else was involved, and they need to tell us what exactly was happening. I think Buzz Aldrin is actually trying to be like open about it. He's trying to be like, yeah, this is what happened, but no one's like really paying attention to him because he's not Neil Armstrong.
I actually like Buzz Aldrin more. Like I like listening to him speak and stuff.
Yeah, like he goes to like any kind of convention that has anything to do with space. He goes to.
Yeah, he's there. A lot.
Like he's even ignored his like 7 kids to go to a convention.
One time, I watched. I read an article, not watched, but somebody suggested to Buzz Aldrin that maybe he never went to the moon. And he punched him in the face because they suggested that he was lying.
I wish I would have saw that.
And that he had never gone to the moon, and he knocked him in the face apparently for
maybe
because he's a military he's a military pilot.
He was in the Air Force.
I mean, he did something really dangerous.
Oh, thank you for that follow,
Microlock. Thank you for that is a good name. Sounds like a boss you'd fight in World of Warcraft or something. Yeah, Microlock.
Some kind of like creature.
Demon of the I like it.
Were you gonna say Demon of the Sun? Yes.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Demon of the Sun. Thank you for that follow, Microlock.
Thank you. But yeah, like I definitely think we went to the moon. I think that was all real. It's weird that we haven't gone back. I guess there's no reason to. It's weird that we haven't just like. You'd think they'd want to explore it more.
Well, everyone else like went after us, right? Like, why would we go back just to get our flag back or replace it?
I was just more curious. Like back then, I assumed the whole thing was we could barely like even landing on there was dangerous. But now you think we could land there with our new technology? We have like the Mars rover and shit. Like you think we could actually land on the moon and just right around there.
Didn't we try to go back, or was it we sent some? We sent the one, and then they had like the oxygen problem, right?
Yeah,
And so they had to basically like whip around it and come back.
I don't remember.
Or was that after we landed?
Can't remember.
I think that was after we landed because in the movie with Tom Hanks and Kevin Bacon and Bill, guy from Twister.
Oh, Paxton.
Bill Paxton. They were flying over it, and they could actually see the site and like the flag as they went past it, and then they had to come back.
Okay.
So I think we tried, but then we had the oxygen problem, and then we're like, "Fuck it, we'll try something else."
You think we could just go land there again, like just to look around, like for fun? Like,
yeah, I was like,
you
"Oh,
want to
cool.
look around?
We
like,
were here."
Because truly, we didn't look at everything.
Yeah, because
we
I think
landed. It was hard enough to land, plant the flag, do the bit, and get
yeah,
back.
Yeah.
Now
because they weren't there very long, and I think the second trip they were supposed to be a little bit longer, check out some other shit.
Yeah, you think you'd want to like mine a little?
Yeah,
although you have to be really careful.
They brought back some rocks.
Right, you have to be really really careful with mining though, Cal, because you got to remember
you could crack the whole moon, and then we'd have 2 half moons.
Okay, that's not what you should be careful of. Well, I guess it is though, but if you mine enough to change the density by a large enough portion, it will literally destroy the tides on Earth.
Yeah, it would just screw our gravitation.
That's super important to like the framework of our tides in our solar system or our little Earth.
Yeah.
Wait, we're supposed to be there in 15 minutes? Oh man, I've still got 6 minutes left on this podcast.
Were you supposed to be in 15 minutes?
Back home.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like I think that space is probably a big enough topic that I think we could probably cover that a few times on the podcast.
Oh yeah, we'll talk it again in the future.
Alien, because there's so much. There's aliens. There's planets. There's exploration. There's mining. There's terraforming. There's a lot that goes into space and exploration. Yeah. And again, that's why I find it so interesting. Like
and just to get away from humans and Earth.
Yeah.
Just to go see something new. Because, I mean, you can only see the Grand Canyon so many times, you know?
And, it also is a little annoying that I feel like all of our movies always end up with us on some terrifying planet with a terrifying alien. How come no one ever, like, lands on a planet and they make the best cheeseburger? And it's just super cool, like Star Wars style. Like,
there's one
planet they're like, welcome to the pub. Here's a great space burger.
Yeah.
That'd be great. I'm going to make that movie.
Oh, there's always some, like, kind of, like, superior, like, hunting race, like Predator.
Yeah, like it's never just like a happy. Why isn't it ever just like a happy experience? Look at how split my beard is. I need to trim it.
You're starting to get the peaks.
Yeah, it won't stay together.
Mine does that when I get it so long. That's why I always trimmed it.
Yeah, I've got to. I gotta cut it off like right there.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we are now nearing the end of the podcast. We got 5 minutes left.
Do you have an idea for next episode yet? Have you thought about what you want to do?
Well, I did I kind of like threatened that we were going to do another conspiracy one, but then we've done the AI one, which was last episode.
AI one was probably my favorite episode we did so far.
Yeah, besides the problem with the Wi-Fi, I thought that one was the best.
Yeah, it was.
I think this one's pretty good too, just for the simple fact that I think we got our sound down. I think we got our cameras going. Yeah.
Things are polishing up, and we've got more polishing coming because
as I hit my mic. Yeah. The next stream. The next episode, next Sunday.
No. One more. Don't we have one more here? This is the last one?
Oh, maybe we do.
One more here, I think.
Oh, we do. Yeah. For some reason, I was thinking we were in July because I'm retarded like that. Okay, so we got one more here at my apartment right here. And then the one after that will be in our townhome where I'll have a room devoted to the podcast. So it'll simply be show up and start the stream. It won't have to be calibrating anything or... So that we got that going. Yeah, we'll talk about conspiracies next time. I'll look up some new conspiracies.
That's why everyone always asks why I haven't updated my cover photos to my beard, and it's exactly what your wife is saying because it is impossible to cut out a beard. They don't color code right when you're magic penning them, so you have to do them by hand, and that's just fucking. I have the world's shakiest hand. I think we have one or
two of you with the beard.
The one that's on. The last one looked pretty good. I thought it was pretty well done.
I mean, we can just give you those. So you can use them on yours.
Yeah, eventually when Loreline finishes, I'm just gonna steal them for sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's
So
it's so annoying to like for me because I have the world's shakiest hands. Like my hands are always pretty shaky.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, I don't use Photoshop very much. As like I use kind of
yeah.
like cheap side programs. I used to have a totally legal version of Photoshop, but then
Yeah.
I got rid of it
I remember when
when
Photoshop
the
was
feds
free.
broke through my window to try and tell me I shouldn't have Photoshop.
Yeah, I hate it when that happens.
Me
Like I
too.
was in the middle of downloading a song, and then they just psh, get out on the ground. What? I just wanted this Britney Spears song.
Watch how many shares I show you.
So yeah, we'll talk about conspiracies next time. And just to warn you guys again,
Yeah, good.
tomorrow on
Let's do that,
Monday.
Cal. Go ahead and just start heading over. We'll do it that way.
Tomorrow on Monday, we'll I'll probably, if we don't get Musty's box tomorrow,
Yeah.
I'll probably just be back on Detroit and we'll do a Q&A again where I got my
Are you gonna do it at night then? Because you work, right? You got scheduling.
yeah, I'll probably do it in the afternoon because
What time in the afternoon?
probably 12 or 1 because I have at 9 o'clock in the morning I have CPR
Cal's
training.
gonna be working tomorrow, so if you want, we can test out the Skype version. I'll Skype over and I'll talk with you while you play, or if you want to do it, if you're just gonna play Detroit, I'll just watch you. But if you want to do something different together,
Well, we can
then
do that.
We can do something.
'Cause you're not streaming tomorrow?
Little mini Q&A. No, I don't do Mondays. Only Tuesday, Wednesday,
Oh,
Thursday,
okay.
Friday.
Well, yeah, we can test out the Skype and
Yeah,
and
because I've
work
been
it
wanting
that
to
way.
test that out to make sure that in an emergency that would work.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do a Skype then.
We'll do a little Q&A and
Q&A Skype for an hour.
you can still put a game up in the background or something if you wanted to.
Yeah,
But
I could play like so I could play Detroit in the background, or
yeah,
I can play
we'll
something
figure it
else.
out. But
H1Z1
something will be on tomorrow because we got to get an extra unique day for meeting our
affiliation.
goal for affiliation.
Yeah. So we'll talk about conspiracies next
Okay,
Sunday.
Musty, do a three-way.
Yeah, we can do
It's
that.
okay if it's
Of Club Penguin, yeah.
Club Penguin in the background. Stream Club Penguin
Yeah.
while we do a Q&A.
You guys can watch me get the boys as coins. Club Penguin, please. Yeah, Sundays, 1 p.m. Central Time, U.S. We stream our episodes on the podcast here, where we talk pretty much about anything we want, but mostly we'll talk about games and movies and
Everything.
politics, shit like that.
Pretty broad though.
I don't
That's
think-
our goal. Our goal. We were too shoehorned, not shoehorned.
We
I
were
don't
too
know.
cornered.
We were too cornered last time, so we're trying to be a
we were
little more
too
vague.
we were too funneled into the games and comic books.
And I feel like if you do that, it's not like there's not enough content to do, but it's like it feels like you're always doing weird research. Like because if you're doing a weekly podcast on something like games, then
Yeah.
it gets to the point where you're like leafing through patch notes to find shit to talk
Yeah,
about.
that's
instead
what-
of just like having
That
fun.
was the biggest problem. Was like we talked about it, and then the next week
Pigeonhole.
happened. It was like, oh, we already talked about this. What else is there
Right,
to talk
right,
about?
like-
You know?
Yeah, like it doesn't feel like there's enough.
Yeah. And it's like it got the people in, but then when we talked about other things, people would like
Yeah,
people
they're like,
would leave.
oh, what the fuck? So
So-
we're trying to be, we're purposefully being a little vague. We will probably find, as we stream, I think we will find
Yeah.
what we focus on.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah, right now we're
I'm
kinda
kind
doing
of
a little bit of
hoping we get to a point where we can get guests on frequently too, where we
Yeah.
can just talk about guests and interview
Musty will
them.
definitely come on.
Yeah. So if we can get guests too, which is another thing,
Cal
if
will
you would
always
like
come
to,
back on. Cal,
yeah,
Musty. Like we have a couple people from my stream will probably be interested in just
Yeah.
poking on every so often, so I can start.
we can
there.
do like a Discord or a Skype thing, or if you want to, if you can physically be here too, that'd be great too.
I'd prefer Skype because I like to have people on video, like add a third box like we did with Cal.
Yeah.
But for those that are shy, Discord works fine for the
Yeah.
doing the video and our audio.
And we might even work on a section where it just gets to a point in the podcast episode where we're just like, all right, and we're taking calls now,
yeah.
which would be kind of cool. So Sundays, 1 p.m. Central Time, U.S. here on twitch.tv/the Nevermind. We're always live at this time. If you missed the live, though, you can check out the video on YouTube. It's usually on YouTube a few hours. It takes a while because I have to cut out the pre-stream.
And it's a long upload too.
Yeah, but it's usually on YouTube by the end of the night on Sunday. On SoundCloud, it's always up on the next morning on Monday. So you can check out just the audio if you want to listen to our beautiful voices while you're working. while you're vacuuming the carpets of the CEO of whatever company you're working for. You can do that too. And after this episode, we got 5 episodes now. I can now apply for iTunes.
Ooh.
Because then we'll have enough material for them to listen to. And that will just RSS
BBG
feed.
was on iTunes, weren't they?
Yeah.
Then we'll be on for sure. This is way better than
the only
BBG.
problem is I will have to get the pro subscription for SoundCloud, because then that's how I can RSS feed it to the iTunes.
How much does that cost?
I think it's like, I might be wrong, but it's probably like $17.
Cool.
But it's unlimited space, so you can have as many tracks as you want on there and stuff.
Oh, good.
So yeah, get all that working out. I think we're going good on the smoothness. We'll see you guys Monday, and if you don't see us on Monday, you'll see us next Sunday. So you guys all have a beautiful day, and now I'm going to end this with a really awkward ending, and hopefully it doesn't